So, Stephen, what are you doing here in Westfield, Mass?
So we actually are getting ready to take a picture or photo of the railroad cam for the Westfield Railroad Bridge, is where we're actually standing underneath them. To my left is the railroad station. To my right is the Pilgrim Candle Building.
That's the old train station right there? So, Stephen, you said years ago this is the place you put a kayak in?
Yep, back in the 90s, 1990s.
So where was that?
Right here on the Westfield River.
What area did you put it in?
Across the way by where the power station is. Park on that side, you put your kayak down in the water. And it's class 1 rapids. So it's very low, it's beginner friendly. Down a little bit ways. But you take your kayak out at Robinson State Park. Right along the river. So
what was it like? Was it really bumpy for a ride?
You're probably gonna get probably 3 or 4 miles at most. Not far. Probably even 1 to 2 miles.
Was it a pretty rough ride?
No, it's an easy, gentle ride.
And the current just takes you along?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very simple, very easy.
Maybe at some point you'll be able to do it again.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Things change.
Yep. Okay, I think we can leave Westfield now. Where are we going?
We're going up to, I don't know if we can hit Mount Greylock. It might be too late.
Oh, we'll see.
Maybe the Hoosick Tunnel.
That could be too. You ready to roll out of here?
Yep.
Let's go.
Bye. So many years ago, before Westfield was the city that is today, was the home of the Westfield Whip City Manufacturing Company. And behind me is its factory. It was its factory. It's now on the National Registry of Historic Places. Westfield Whip Manufacturing Company, 360 Elm Street. This was put on the National Registry in October of 1985. So this building still stands. It's now the home of the Westfield Museum, Inc. So this is the city of Westfield honors the men and women who served their country. No one left behind or forgotten. This stone is red for the blood they shed. Freedom is not free. Westfield Purple Heart Trail. For the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. Hey Mike, this plaque is telling people about the history of the railroad here in Westfield. Come check it out. So the buildings of the railroad required large forces of manual laborers. The job was primarily filled by immigrant workers, notably the Irish, who also worked in the canals. Some of the laborers found work with the railroad companies or with a growing number of industries along the railroad once was complete. The population of Westfield nearly tripled in the 80s years leading up to 1869. The result of new technology and the job opportunities worked new residents and giving standing residents a reason to stay. Industries tended to have located themselves alongside of the railroad so that they could have most convenient access to the lines. Westfield was seen as an ideal for industries because of its access to the north, south, east, and west line. The Columbia Manufacturing Building, otherwise known as the people who used to build bikes here in Westfield, the Columbia Manufacturing Building, and the Westfield Whip Company, who used to make whips for horse buggies have their headquarters here in Westfield. Are two industries that are adjacent to the trail, which is built on the site of the former New York, New Haven, Hartford Railroad. So behind me is the New York, New Haven, Hartford right-of-way. Is now a bike trail. And behind Michael and in front of me is the Boston Albany Railroad line. Now, CSX Transportation Rail Line from Boston, Massachusetts to Albany, New York. You can learn more about them on the other signs in this series. Deposit Square, which is actually, there's a station right behind us. Deposit Square had both the New Haven Railroad and the Boston Albany station pictured above, which is what we just showed you, so that people could travel east, north, east, south, and west from and into Westfield. This made traveling simpler and more common. No buildings longer function. The building no longer functions as a train station, but can be seen on the bank of Westfield River to the northwest of the Great River Bridge. So, to my right is the Westfield train station, or what was a railroad train station. It is now an insurance company. And down the way to the right, on the other side of the train station, is the Pilgrim Candle Company, where the rail camera is. And that's looking towards Boston. So if you go down this track, 100 miles, this is 108 right now. Going that way is the West Springfield Railroad Yard, Worcester, and then Boston. So we've changed directions, westbound. Behind me is, it continues to go into the hills of the Berkshires, past the Chester Rail Camp in Chester, Mass. And then finally, it hits the Berkshire Mountains and into New York through the state line tunnels, which is a double bore tunnel. Really cool.
So Steve, yesterday we went to Jordan's Furniture in Reading, Mass, and you did that obstacle course overhead, carrying. So with that experience you already acquired, do you think you could climb that bridge and walk without any ropes or any type of devices?
I don't know.
To the very top of the bridge.
No, I wouldn't even try it.
No?
I wouldn't even try it.
That's the question. Well, Steve, we'll leave in Westfield now.
For the time